All right, welcome into episode 60 of Coffee and Chel. I am your host, Sleeves, joined by my two co-hosts, as always, Kesso and Pod. Nice light.
And
Nice.
I forgot to
Look at
turn it
this
on.
production. We got like a little bit of a different background. Boys, it has been like 2 weeks. We completely skipped the holidays. So,
We did.
That's good.
we
We needed
needed
it.
to reset. We got a lot to talk about today. So, like we always do. How was your holidays? We'll start with Padre. Padre, what did you do? Anything cool happen? Did you do anything fun?
Well, I got COVID.
Oh, that's all right. All right, on to Kesso. How was your holidays?
No, we all got COVID. So my wife got it, or my wife got it, and then my daughter got it, and then my son, who's only like 13 weeks old, got it. And the only reason why we found out we had COVID was because we had to take him to the hospital because he had a fever. Because they tell you to do that like in the first like part of like they're like I can't remember how many months it is or whatever they say to take him. And he had 102 fever, and then they tested him while he was there, and then they were like, "Oh, he had COVID." I'm like, "Oh, great." So we all have COVID. So then I was like the last one to get it. I'm like, "I'm not gonna get it. I already had it. I got it." But we luckily we were like right or whatever like 7 days before Christmas, so it was like perfect timing. So we were able to at least do stuff on Christmas, and it was good. I mean, I think we were all just a little tired. Just like we were talking about this before the episode, like Kessa, it's just kind of when you have kids, especially, it just makes it like you just run around all day and stuff. And
Dude,
yeah,
it's a full time it's great, but it's like insane, man. I've never been more tired all the time.
Always.
Like I've been off work for like 10 days or something, like a Christmas break, I guess. And it's like every night, like my wife and I might stay up till like 1 or something and like watch TV. Or like she falls asleep at like midnight and I'll be like, oh, I can play some Rivals games. So I fall asleep at 3. And the baby wakes up at like 4 or 5, and you hear that.
Dude, you were grinding Rivals till 3 in the morning. I'm hearing.
Dude, I can't sleep at night, you know? Like it's like
We all got
that
such
it's
an
like that
addiction.
1 or 2 hour block that it's like nobody else is up in the house, so it's like
Yes.
nice. It's quiet. But no, holidays were cool. There's a lot of like running around. It was so busy. Like I needed like a vacation from whatever this vacation was.
Mine like came and went so quickly. I didn't even put my tree up in my.
Well, you were still
studio.
working all the time.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but like I guess I don't consider it work. But like, yeah, like it was like my wife was off work on the 23rd. We had her family over, and then the 24th was nothing. Usually it's with her mom's family, but we did that on the 23rd, and then the 25th, my dad came over, and the 26th I went and saw my mom's side of the family. But and then it's like over. It's like done. New Year's Eve. What'd you do, Kesso?
My daughter fell asleep at 8 o'clock. My wife and I watched Succession for like 4 hours on HBO. That's what we
sick.
did. Dude,
isn't
last year today I'd be like hungover. This year it's like it's such a big adjustment.
What'd you do yesterday?
not a ton. We actually we kind of it's the weather's been awesome here. Like it was
It's
like
been
60
really good here.
It was 60 degrees after being -5. I know, like
Yep.
for the Canadians out there, I'm talking in Fahrenheit. So yeah, it was -5 like a week ago. So we were able to like go outside. I literally spent an hour cleaning up dog crap. I'm not even kidding. I cannot believe these dogs pooped about 5 bags in 3 months, and it was I did some stuff like that. I went out, walked the dogs. We set up my daughter's
How'd you
jolly
ring
jumper.
in the new year?
Yeah, that's how. Oh well, now we just watched the ball drop, and my daughter didn't make it to midnight, but or 11 o'clock our time. But yeah, it was nothing crazy. Today we went to like a jumping place or whatever. So
I saw that on Instagram.
my daughter was jumping around, getting her energy out. It's kind of funny. You kind of like, all right, let's just tire him out.
Did you do any of the jumping?
I actually did a little bit, and but she's very like feeble. So if I jumped, when she'd like jump with me, and I'd jump like a little bit, and then I'd bounce her, and she'd fly up. Every single time she'd come down, she'd get hurt. And then I was like, oh, whatever. It's funny. We were talking today. This is a little off topic, but my daughter's a big fan of Sleevesy. She always hears me go. Because my wife's like, oh, Daddy's got to go do his podcast. Because like we're getting ready for bed. Daddy's got to do his podcast with Sleevesy. Or with Sleeves, she'll say, and then my wife was like, I like Sleeves or whatever. So the other day I was FaceTiming in Discord, and I go, say hi to Sleeves and Kessa, and she like said hi to Sleeves. She like knows now. Like when I'm like, I'm going to do the podcast. It's the funniest thing. So
it's good stuff, man. It warms the heart seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, like I'm warming Sleevesy up for a kid. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm just kind of pulling his heartstrings.
It'll be a cold day in hell, I think, man. I'm still.
Hey, you know what's funny? When Kessa goes, you still had to work. It is kind of funny. Like you and like Walmart and maybe maybe are the only guys that like work on Christmas because they go, oh, here's a Christmas card for you that comes out on Christmas. Make a video.
Bro, okay, yo, I'll tell you, yeah, behind the curtains on that. So I like DM'd EA and was
Yeah.
like, hey, I don't want to know the cards, but can I get a heads up of like when you're gonna put them out? And it was like the general consensus was like it was like 8 a.m. And I was like, awesome. This is like 11:45. All right. I go and late. I go to bed. I just finished streaming at like Christmas Eve, right? And I'm exhausted. Lay in bed, you know, in just straight up in the boxers, all cozy. My dog's on my feet. And then like my notifications went off that like it's like, yo, check out the new Christmas it's like midnight. I'm like, God damn. I get out of bed. I'm grumbling. My wife's like, where you going? I'm like, I gotta go stream. I was so mad about it. Went downstairs, fired up a stream till 2. Then I had to spend an hour recording a video of like which ones are like the good one. They were all exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then went to bed at like 4 a.m. Got up again on Christmas Day at like 8 so that my family could come over. And I was just like, dude, it was frustrating. It was annoying. I thought I was gonna get like a nice night's sleep just to chill, but nope. It was midnight. Midnight, the biggies.
Wait, since Nations of Hockey is like our first topic, who did you pick?
Whoa, what did you just do, Sleeves? We have to call that out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we upped our production, but not really. I just kind of made like 8 new scenes, so now you guys can stop complaining about not seeing what topic we are on the left here or the right. Your right. So now we can see we are now talking about Nations of Hockey. Look at that.
So who did you guys take for your Christmas cards? Like Kessa, who did you take?
I always value in these ones. I go center and defense. Those are always the most valuable positions, right? So I don't know if there were any good centers. I have Beagle anyway. So I saw that TJ Brody that had gold stick him up. So I was like, worst case, he's going to be on my team on like the third pairing for a couple months. So I picked him.
Yeah.
And he's not that bad. I deactivated
I wish I
stick
would
him
have
up.
picked him.
Yeah. Who'd you pick?
I picked Krejci because
of course.
We'll get to that later. I'm an old gen boy now, so I went to the old gen console. So I had to restart my team, and I know Sleazy's not a fan of it. We'll talk about that later. But I took Krejci because I needed somebody to win me a draw, like every time too.
If you don't have Beagle, that's what I said, dude. I said in my video, if you don't have Beagle, like Krejci's probably the play no matter what, because like at least gold quick draw is like useful. Like you know what I mean? Like and he had 92 speed. Quietly, you could probably put him on the wing. Like you know, like but he's useless with his abilities.
And the guy that has a Lamborghini, I mean, I don't even know if any of the guys crack your lineup.
I took the same on both, not a dollar and the God Squad, dude. I love how we all went separate. I went Nino Rider. So
he was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, like the reason why I took him on the free to play team was I had Beagle. So if you have Beagle, I just didn't see a value in taking Krejci. And then there was a couple other like the defensemen. I am so over stick 'em up because I don't. We'll talk about that when we get the gameplay. But like, there are so many like abilities that you just can't trust. Like I think stick 'em up last year was one of the best, and I think early on this year it was pretty decent until people realized that if you poach,
it's still good. It's just
like
weird.
it's not bad. I'm gonna have a video coming out this week going over like my tier list for abilities. I have it in the A tier. I think that it's no longer an S. If it would reliably work like it did in NHL 22, I think that it would be an S tier ability, especially because of the cost.
Yeah.
But it's just like, how many times have you poach checked and the person just got it right back?
Yeah,
like,
almost every time.
It's absurd. Like you have to. The only time it works is if you are back skating and like they're in front of you, which is like you're in proper position. Yeah. But like other times it just simply will not. And even when you do that, half the time they just keep skating and it'll go through. But Dvorak was interesting because I thought that had like lineup flexibility, but he was just very mediocre, like across the board. It reminded me of like Crosby cards where it was like everything's like 90, right? Yeah. So Unstoppable Force Elite Edges is gross. Niederreiter's been phenomenal. So he's on like my fourth line, and I could probably remove him on the God Squad.
Rasmus Anderson, I think, was the other one, and he had like Seeing Eye, which
he was
I
the
thought,
worst one. I thought.
I thought of you though when I saw the gold Seeing Eye, but I know you probably couldn't justify having another gold Seeing Eye on your team, and I don't know. And then like we always have the infamous, my boy, I love him to death, Billy Husso, former St. Louis Blue. But I mean, I've said this, goalies don't matter, but the one ability I feel like matters is butterfly effect. But we've already gone over this whole thing with goalies. It's the one ability that I noticed though more than any goalie ability, where it's like it'll make the spectacular save sometimes, but every goalie like me, I've talked to you guys about this so you guys are blue in the face. Like it's it's not going to stop your goalie from turning sideways or backwards.
Yeah,
or
like that's the
upside.
thing,
Yeah.
man. Like
It's like whatever.
when butterfly effect, like when like it goes into play, it's very good in my opinion, for sure. Again, it's the same thing as stick 'em up, like Pochex. It's like this is an animation thing with goaltenders, and like I people ask me like who should hit in net, and like this is the year where it literally does not matter,
Right.
like because all of them get stuck hung up on the post. They go into the butterfly. They can't handle the wrap. Like it is what it is. So. Let's talk about Nations of Hockey. So this was a 4-week event, and which is a drastic change from prior NHL events and how they've run. And people hate change, so people have become really sick of Nations of Hockey. And I find it interesting because when it comes to like MLB is usually like everyone compares it to, which is weird. I think maybe it's because like NHL dies and MLB comes out, so like a lot of the player base plays both. Whereas like Madden is like the same time, FIFA's like the same time. But anyways, in MLB they do it content in like 6-week drops, whereas like NHL it's like every Friday there's something exciting. In MLB, man, you can go weeks without like anything really cool going in the store. I know you get like headliners and stuff, but like it's not a ton. It's like that's like a new prime time or whatever. But yeah, 4-week event, a little long. I liked that it tied in with international hockey. The World Juniors this year is the best it's been in a long time. Like I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to it, but it is wide open. Like there is like Slovakia, Switzerland, the Czechs look like a wagon, and in the U.S. like it's just very very good. And then you have Canada with like Bedard, who's just man like
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been okay, like tying in with that. But how do you feel about the 4-week event? And do you think they should have done something different for it?
I don't mind it myself, honestly. Like, because like I think if we don't even look at the MSPs, there were so many cards in like the 87 to 89 range
There's a
that
lot.
there's like so many, right, with a lot of good abilities that can make people's teams. Like I use like that Jack Hughes. I pulled him. He's not an expensive card, but he has gold elite
Shots.
edges. Yeah, so like I use him on my first line right now. And there's like so many of those cards that come out where like I'm sure some of them have made your like free to play team. Like I'm free to play like they've made my team. So I don't mind the 4 weeks. Some of the MSP choices, like I haven't made an MSP this year, just because I've been hoarding for Team of the Year. But there's still like some really good cards, like that Forsberg card
Forsberg's gross.
looks phenomenal.
I had him on the God Squad.
Yeah, there was that goalie that came out, I think like the first or second week.
Godlewski's.
Yeah,
Had him too.
yeah, okay, there you go. Right. So I didn't mind it, because we all know it's just like serving the purpose of getting us
IHF
through to
partnership.
Team of the Year.
Exactly that, and I think that's. We'll talk about that in just a little bit, but like, I think that's the issue with NHL and content right now is that everyone has become so aware. Like, I feel like this year, the casual player base is gone. So what's left is like the knowledgeable NHL fan, and then now you're getting a lot of Christmas players because you can definitely see it. But you're getting like the knowledgeable player, and they all know what's happening. If you look at the market right now, it's a mess. Everything is super expensive. It's like everything is dried up because everyone's just waiting for Team of the Year. The World Junior cards. I want to talk about those. So those come out. They've been doing that for like 5 years now, where whoever wins gold gets +5. And there's a really nice little like I call it a hack. It's not a hack where you could use Nations of Hockey collectibles and like 4 of them, and then trade them in for a pack, and then just hold the pack until Team of the Year comes out because the World Juniors finish during Team of the Year. It appears. So you could trade in 4 Nations of Hockey collectibles and potentially get a 90 overall like Shane Wright if he's in your pack. And you don't have to make the decision now because you just dashboard. I kind of wish they would do fantasy hockey cards, like full on like Evos.
Yeah. I mean, well, like you said, that's the issue, right? Everybody waits for Team of the Year, because that's the only, besides like fantasy hockey, the cards that'll still be on your team at the end of the year. If they didn't go fantasy or like Evos, like I think just another circumvention is to have these cards continue to upgrade throughout the year. Like if you get an MSP now, I think the max they can go up to is 90. Why not just do a +1 on every MSP every month, right? Or like
I don't know why that isn't just a blanket thing.
Yeah, right. For every MSP, like I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe that would deter people from spending money and like opening. I'm assuming that's a business thing. It would have,
Yeah,
like
it has
you know
to
what I mean.
be.
Like you would, yeah, because if if you could go back and like all these cards came up, like there'd probably be like any event that doesn't have a banger thing. But like, yeah, I just I like all like the choices. If they always pick someone like Shane Wright's good, but like I would love like Connor Bedard's like Evo. Start him at like 80. You know, they only play 7 games, right? Although he's got like 31 points, but like it just would be really cool if they did Evos because I've been watching the tournament, but I feel like you would watch every game if it was like an Evo, and it's very like I don't know that would be something I would change or game day tilt cards, like just do a bunch of them, like because the game day tilt cards now. This is an issue that NHL just struggles with. Is like they just release stuff, and now we're getting to the point where they like do not catch up to the overalls. Like 82 game day tilt cards came out last week. I don't remember what the two were. They each had one shot each, and they were an 82 afterwards. And it's like
Yeah, there was only like one really good one. I think it was the Jack Hughes that went up like 6 or 7
there was
overall, right?
Jack Hughes, and I want to say Trocheck.
Trocheck had a game where he had like 10 shots or something.
Yeah,
He went up a
went
lot. Yeah.
nuts. And that was like the only one, but yeah, like I don't know what it is now. We'll talk about my. Oh, we should probably talk about my site a little bit because it's coming. But dude, the bane of my existence is adding in these cards that are just useless. Like there is no point to them other than the fact that there is stuff to say there is stuff. I would love to see the info on people using their favorite, like what are the odds someone pulls an 82 overall primetime and then uses it? I want to see the usage rate on that. And same with Nations of Hockey. Like it would be cool. Like why can't event cards minimum at like 85?
Yeah.
And they've done.
I
I'll say
know.
that they've done a great job at making cards. They understand the good abilities, and I don't want to say they're like meta, but they've understood the good abilities to make a card attractive, to make up for the low overalls or deficiencies in some things. Like there has been a lot of choices where cards have come out and it's like, man, that's not bad,
Right.
And I think that's a testament. That's a good thing. But yeah, the Nations of Hockey event, I tried out Ayaka Toko.
Yeah, how was she?
Dude, she injured Jay Beagle.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it
no.
was hilarious. Could not get hit. Like I had elite edges on her too, and it was really fun. Shot was cool. The issue is so I want to talk about this. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because we always like wonder how effective like unstoppable force is and truculence, things like that. She had gold truculence, and there was times where I would hit someone and like get a run, and they would bump down to their knee for a second, get right back up. It wasn't like the big one, and even stumble animations, like they wouldn't do like the one where like like it's like a car accident. It was like they would lose the puck for a half second, but they were still upright and they would get it right back. So there is clearly a point at which height and weight needs to be a certain threshold before everyone gets checked. But I thought it was fun. Like I told people when I was like, I don't want to see any complaints unless you've actually used the card, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Like I think that it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I'd imagine she plays similar to like I have that 89 Marchand with gold truculence that I like a lot, but he's like 4 inches taller. But I feel like you guys won't appreciate this. But I know there's a lot of people that listen that watch comic book movies. I feel like we're using Ant-Man out there whenever they shrink down, but they still have the strength of like a grown man whenever
Okay.
I'm throwing hits with him. And Toko, or is it, yeah, it's they have the name different in the screen.
I
Is it
think
Ayaka
that's
like Hitasado or what
I
is it?
think that's a cultural thing. Like
Okay.
married name kind of something. I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong, but like that's what someone in my chat said, and it kind of
Okay.
makes sense. I don't.
Okay, I
don't
wasn't
know.
sure. I didn't know which name to
I
use.
feel like they would be aware of that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't put it past them to make a mistake, but like I feel like in game they would just change the name.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm not sure on that. But yeah, from the event, couple cards that dude, the Mario Lemieux and Gretzky, tough,
Lemieux has to be the best card in the game, right?
unbelievable. Like it kind of sucked as like a Lemieux owner. Gretzky didn't matter because they essentially made the Oilers Gretzky, and like my Gretzky will just, or the Oilers Gretzky will just keep upgrading. So like I didn't feel that bad, but like I don't like Mario Lemieux's got to go up to like a 96 before that Canada one is worse than like his, because like the abilities are wild on it. So good.
He has
I
the
mean,
best abilities, I think, in the game that you can have almost.
for forwards. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. Lastly, so yeah, just quickly, Favre, Forsberg, Eichel. I think after Team of the Year is done, a lot of people are going to go back and make them. I've used them, all extremely good. So Nations of Hockey is almost done. This Friday, as we record this on Sunday, it is over. Nations of Hockey is no more, and we'll be on to Team of the Year. So, nice little segue. But before we get into Team of the Year, I want to thank our sponsor of today's episode, Gamersaloon, Gamersaloon.com. If you are looking to get into wager matches, if you want to take on the Dunkin' Deli, all right, he runs his mouth more than anyone in this community. He wins the big ones. If you want to take him on in a money game and shut him up, please do so. Go to Gamersaloon.com, and man, it's the most reliable and safest place to do wager matches. Please, for the love of God, if you get good in this community, do not do PayPal wagers. People will scam you. Do it on Saloon.
Dude, people even know for a while.
Literally, it's happened.
Yeah, it's happened so many times.
It's unbelievable. Please use Saloon. Link is down below. Go and sign up for an account. They give away a lot of free money and power hours where you can just get wager matches for free, basically. So check them out. All right, on to Team of the Year. So the big topic, all right. We got news. The nominees come on Tuesday at late 11 a.m. Nominees, I feel like it kind of pointless.
Don't say 11 a.m. We all know it'll be leaked at 8
a.m. I'm sure it'll be on the website or whatever. But
guys, wait. Speaking of leaks,
they leaked their own leak.
We've had leaks on PlayStation, PSN, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We've had leaks on the game. Now we're getting leaks through Tinder. I just wanted to add that comment.
Oh, no.
That is an all-time NHL community moment. Like, in 5 years, if I'm still doing this, that will still be talked about. For anyone that doesn't know, for anyone that doesn't know, our poor community manager, Clappy, he was just, looking for a little companionship on Tinder. And I don't know if it's someone's sister, so I have no idea, matched with him and said, hey, when's Team of the Year coming? And Clappy said, January 6th. So that's an all-timer. And then someone screenshot and put it on Reddit, of course, because, it has to, and then everyone just dumped on him. So I feel bad, dude. Like,
yeah, I do, because
check out.
He said no, not Friday. He said no, not Friday, as in this Friday. He really didn't say much, but dude, what do you like? If I'm him and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm just sending a message on Tinder, like what? I felt bad for him, but
that time I actually that is an all timer, bro. I remember when I was while I was streaming, I was getting is like, is Team of the Year coming this Friday? I'm like, no. Like while I'm playing, I'm like, no. It was confirmed like January 6th, like not this week via Tinder. Like that was like a real sentence. Anyways, so it is coming January 6th. We're getting the nominees on Tuesday. We still don't know if it's going to be position locked or not. I've been saying like this whole year, Austin Matthews is the reason why I don't think it is. Because
it makes the most sense for it to not be.
Yeah, because he forced his way in. I had some debates this week. There is some nonsense in the community. All right, I'm gonna put this to bed right now. There is no way that in the calendar year of 2022 that Austin Matthews could ever beat Connor McDavid at center if it's position locked. I apologize.
Ever.
I am a Leafs fan. I would love to see the Leafs win. I watched the Leafs maybe this season more than the Sharks because of how bad they are. I love the Leafs. But respectfully, Connor McDavid, what he's doing is like Gretzky era adjusted. Like, we might, like, I don't know if we'll see, I don't want to say we won't see this in our lifetime, but there's a real possibility we don't. Like,
dude, he has 71 or 72 points already this season.
He's a 2-point per game player in the playoffs and the regular season. Like that is absurd with how good the level of play is now.
He's the greatest human ever to play the game of hockey.
Yes.
Like if you built a player.
Yes.
Like we talked about this in Discord the other day. If I built a baseball player, it'd be Shohei Ohtani, a guy that's literally an ace and he can hit 30 and 100. If I built a hockey player, it'd be McDavid. If I built a basketball player, it would be LeBron because he's a freak of nature, height, and he can play point guard. Shoot, he can do everything. If I built a football player, I don't really know because football is a weird sport to do that.
It'd probably be LeBron again. Let's be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, it probably is. Yeah,
it's a tough sport, but my bad, Cass. So I was just like, I don't know how you would.
I agree.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
I was just saying, I'm glad you guys got this too because I only streamed like a couple times this past week, and there were people trying to make the argument that McDavid wasn't the best player in the league. And it was like, well, he has mostly power play points.
He won the Hart. He won the Hart and the Rock Richard, and that's huge. But you have to remember that like some of the McDavid, I believe, has one less goal in the calendar year than Matthews. Matthews won the Rock Richard, but you got to remember that half of that or more came in the first half of the season, which does not count. That happened last year. So, but he is the reason why. He is the most marketable player in the NHL behind maybe Zegras is close. I think if Zegras evolves into like, maybe like Zegras is like the closest thing we have to Pavel Datsyuk, right?
Yeah.
And obviously cover athlete and all of that. But Matthews is probably the most marketable player in the NHL. Like I bet you more people that don't watch hockey know Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid. So like, I feel like because of that, Team of the Year is a marketing event. I remember when it came out in, I think it was NHL 20. No one knew what it was, and it was like why we had Team of the Season, like you know what I mean, or we had Team of the Year. I think it was called Team of the Year, but they changed that to Team of the Season when it came in, and it's like clear. They send out the gold skates, they do all this stuff, and
Padres texting us pictures of Bennington, skates and stuff.
That was a crazy one. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know.
Can I tell that story real quick?
Yeah, please. That was
anybody that doesn't. If anybody wants the picture, you can DM me. I'll send it to you. I still have it on my phone, but I should have it like pulled up honestly. But I was skating with the Blues like the morning of. I practiced with them, or I can't remember. It was just like a practice or something, and I was getting undressed, and there's like a lounge area, and I saw Binner like walking with a goalie helmet bag, and he just like threw it, like he literally just like tossed it on a couch, and it was like laying there, and I was like, Team of the Year. And I was like, that's for the video game. Like, what in the world? I took a picture of it. And I texted, like, you guys. I'm like, guys, Binner's getting Team of the Year, like, later today. And I was like, but I don't have any coins to go, like, buy.
That was when you bought the nominee card.
Whatever,
and and then it blew up into the whatever, which is a cool format. Like, you had to risk it. But
I didn't have any coins. But he was a goalie, so it wasn't like you're really going to.
You texted me that. I bought, like, 5 of them, but he didn't even go up in value.
Yeah, he didn't even go up in price.
It's just,
It was really funny because I was like, I tweeted it because I was a troll, and and Clappy like immediately DM'd me and was like, hey, like don't like take it down, blah blah. And then he sent me like a selfie of himself in the goalie mask. Like it was Clappy in the mask, and I was like, you're such a dork. But it was just funny because I was like, wow, like that was it. And Binner never wore the mask. He actually wore it. The only time he wore it was in the All-Star Game skills competition shootout. If you go back and like watch it, he actually wore it in that thing. So it's kind of interesting, but it was actually kind of a cool mask because like I mean I know Sleazy's like he's big on the card art, and I'll give him credit. Like they had good card art that year, and I remember it was like the black and the gold like color that year. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty cool though. But yeah, it was just funny because I was like, I'm the video game nerd type of guy, and then I see that when I'm skating. Like, what are the odds?
No, yeah, like I said, so like it is like 100% for marketing, and I just don't I don't think position lock is good for the event because it is always going to be Connor McDavid and Cale Makar. Like, no disrespect to Adam Fox, but like there's no one that is ever going to unseat those two.
Barring injury, right?
Barring injury, yeah, like that's it. Barring injury, or like the Oilers getting knocked out in the first round, maybe. And even then, he probably puts up 14 points. So it's like, I just don't know. It makes it kind of lame in that situation. So I hope that it is 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. I truthfully do because I think. Okay, let's play it out. All right, Kesso. If it is we'll do Padre first. Padre, if it is position locked, who are your 3 forwards?
Dude, this is the one. I have so much trouble with the wingers because I think the center's McDavid for sure.
Yeah,
and then 100%. Like here's my like nerdy thinking about it. So like for like right wingers, like I'm gonna go Marner just because Leafs land. You still get the sales from all the Leafs fans. People still love Marner that are Leafs fans, and he's had like a really good just calendar year. And then he had that point streak. He broke the record, but the problem is. And I don't know if like, dog. I mean, it happened in your chat, so I can say it. Like EA Hawk pretty much said, and he said in your chat, he's like, these were done a while ago. So when he said that, it made me think, okay,
they have to do it somewhat early
because of the skates.
Because that because they have to ship it out, but like the card art that goes into the game, like the card art's in there. Like if this game was on PC, you would know, like because it's in the background, it's in the console,
right?
I would probably say that it's. Done by December 1st.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone. But I don't even know if it would matter because like Kucherov is like 25 more points.
Yes.
Like I feel like everyone forgets about Kucherov. Yeah. Just like because I do. Like I feel like he got hurt that whole year and everyone just forgot he exists.
Yeah, I have like a combination for like the wingers. So I would say like Marner, Cooch, or Kane. Like that. Like I know I'm not being like a good, giving a good answer, but then like left
Pick
wing.
one. Pick one.
Okay, then I'll just say then like if knowing that what we know from Hawk, I will say Cooch like you, just
Okay.
because it makes the most sense. Then like left wing, I'm gonna go Matthew Kachuk, but that's another
Gaudreau.
tough one just because it's like
There's three. It's him,
it's
Gaudreau, and
Gaudreau,
Kaprizov.
Huberto, like you know what I mean. Like you could be one of those, but Matty Kachuk, it's kind of funny. That's another story. Like I texted him the other day, and I was like, "Hey, did you get gold skates yet for the NHL TV?" And he's like, "What are you even talking about?" I'm like,
All right.
"Well, you get these skates because you were the best left wing." He's like, "Listen, I'll let you know if I get them." And he's like, "But that's funny." And I'm like,
All right, so we can cross off Kachuk.
He had no clue, and that was like as of like a few days ago. So maybe they get him this week. I don't know. That was over like the Christmas break. So I don't know.
That's funny.
Because I know how it works, like with Benner's match.
Dude, what are you even talking about? That's
he's like, what are you even talking about? And then the defenseman, I think we all agree with this, Makar and Yossi.
Yeah, it's Makar
and then the
and
goalie, I'm just gonna go Shesterkin just because of the Vezina. So
I feel like
it's
it
usually
has to.
Yeah.
I feel like
Benner was the one year where like it wasn't the Vezina winner. It was like this dude that just like came out of nowhere that like won the cup. Like it was kind of like
no, he wasn't Conn Smythe, but O'Reilly was, right?
he probably should have been. I don't know. That was a year where it's like it was so tough. Yeah. But yeah, that's my guess. So, Kessa, what do you think?
I agree with you on the Kachuk if it was position locked. Like I like him a lot for that. I think he'd have a good meta build too. That's just me
I
being
hope they
nerdy.
make him a skater, bro. I hope they.
Yeah, like so, but going without that though, it can't be position locked because like we can all agree it's going to be McDavid, Matthews, Yossi, Makar, and then Shesterkin, right? Like I think we have 5 that are locked down.
Yes, that would be my guess. I don't know.
I'm still like I'm clueless on who the third forward.
I think is Draisaitl.
It should be theoretically, right? I was thinking I really think it'll be McKinnon though.
That's what I was always. I've been saying that too because the cup.
Yeah, like
I don't think that's. I mean, like I don't know. He didn't win the Conn Smythe. Not that he was bad in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's still a great player. It's just like Makar had like an all-time playoffs.
I don't know. I have a hard time with McKinnon.
Dude, they had a year where wasn't it like the first team of the year like Kucherov, Hedman, and Vasilevsky?
It was bad. Yeah, it was half the team was
there was like 3 Lightning. So like I don't see why they wouldn't do like 2 Avalanche players. Because I think if we do look at the calendar year, like those are the 3.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like that.
Draisaitl's going to have that Malkin effect for like the next 10 years.
I know it sucks, eh?
Yeah.
Like if he was just out of the shadow of McDavid, he's like the best player on the team by far.
He's like the second best, like player in the league, maybe. So,
dude, if Matthew. So with how good content has been in terms of making cards actually useful, that Matthews, dude, if they make him a viable center, like give him quick draw or thief, like just so that he has like 90-ish face-offs. Like, because his X factor.
I think Hawk and Moose. I think they're good. They're great at their jobs. They will definitely make sure.
All right, let's pretend Matthews gets it. Guess his abilities.
Padre, you go first with this one. I'm thinking.
I'm gonna do make it snappy.
Okay, yeah, I feel like that's got to be on there. We'll mix that in the soup.
Oh, I'm talking about like all the abilities.
Yeah. What ones?
I don't know how many abilities
they have 4. Let's say they have 4.
Okay, let's say they have 4. What's the goal? All right, make it snappy, unstoppable force, silver quick draw, and then the gold I would say would be I think the goal would be make it snappy.
Okay. Yeah, I can mess with that.
And then like silver quick draw, silver unstoppable force, and then silver or Schneid maybe, I don't know, because he's a shooter. So it's like I feel like they're gonna like a shot. You know what I mean? Because shock and awe.
To imagine the game of elite edges.
That would be that's
I think
what
they're
I'm
saving bro. Like they're saving that one for McDavid, I think.
Yeah.
Because like I don't think they'll copy like wheels again because they did that last year. Remember, like his X Factor had wheels, but his team of the year didn't have like unstoppable force or something.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah. No, it did,
gold unstoppable force in his X Factor had gold
and wheels.
And it's funny, like guys like Pollock who are like really good at the game, like he kept his X Factor just the way it was because he liked the gold wheels better than the.
Do you think that with how good cards are, like every master set, like they have gotten a good combination of more than just one ability? Like it's really hard to activate wheels.
Mm-hmm. I stopped.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped. It's just so much that because like there is so many good abilities. Like Unstoppable Force and Elite Edges is like an unbelievable combo, but that's 12 points right there. Like I do that on Gretzky, right? And like I have it on a few guys, like on Nita Ryder too, on my No Money Spent team. Like it's just very
That's
difficult.
more than half your points on 2 players, though, right then and there.
Exactly, right? Like it just makes it very tough. Wheels is just the only one I might consider Wheels on right now is Gartner, who is now the only
99 speed.
He is the
Yeah.
first 99 speed player in the game. As Padre goes and looks at the market for Gartner cards.
No, do you guys think? Here's a question: do you think if like Yossi and like Makar are going to get Team of the Year, do you think it would be bad if they gave one of them like gold truculence? Do you think it'd be like
gold? Yes, no, because it's got to be. Like,
you think it has to be tied to their like, play style?
I think Yossi could get silver. I don't like because at least he's a little bit harder.
It's tough because like what those two players are great at don't translate to good abilities in this game.
Like
besides like elite edges.
Elite edges, yeah, but gold elite edges, man, that gold elite edges on a defenseman is really tough.
And it'll be different than his X Factor, right? Because he already has that.
His X Factor has elite. I don't know if it'll be different because like I don't know how you give Cale Makar literally I don't know how you give him a different X Factor.
You don't think they give him gold wheels, do you?
That'd be a waste on a defenseman.
Yeah, it's tough on a defenseman. Like, you know what's funny? It's off topic. Thrash has become a pretty good player, and he does this thing that he does it different than every other player I've played against. Like, he absolutely just crushed me. I don't think I ever lost him before this year. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I have. And he takes his defenseman, and literally it's like an X, like from one corner to the other, straight line. And there's like, once you get to top speed, there's like no hitting him. And I'm just like wondering if a defenseman got like high skating and had gold wheels, like maybe like, but yeah, like it's just too much. Like because I'd much rather have truculence, like 100%, like on a defenseman. So I don't know how you give a lead edge to Cale Makar. Like I could see Yossi. Yossi needs a help because his X factor is awful. Like
he doesn't have a usable ability.
He might have the worst 4 defensive abilities you could possibly have in the game, and like he needs. All right, let's build Yossi. Build Yossi, and that it has to be realistic.
He's gonna have gold elite edges.
Okay.
He's gonna have silver stick him up.
Okay.
He's gonna have silver like send it up. Is that what it's called?
Send it, yeah. That's his gold ability now.
I know, and it's so bad. Dude, I was streaming the one day. You came in, you're like,
yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
Dude, I had 4 points left over. I'm like, I'm going to activate it.
Dude, what are you doing? For anyone that doesn't know, shoot the puck on the breakout, guys. If you're not good at it, learn how to do it. Never pass.
That's
just
the worst
shoot.
ability.
Yeah. Shoot the puck from your defenseman up the boards. You will bypass whatever AI is there. Like, it is way better for anyone that is wondering why Send It is so pointless.
I wouldn't even mind silver like quick pick as well on that card.
I think I would say gold seeing eye.
Yeah.
Or maybe gold seeing eye Makar?
That would actually be like he does float a lot of shots.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see. I
think Yossi's gonna get gold 1T.
Oh God!
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Nuts.
I want to try. I want to try
it too.
Is there a good defenseman with a good left-handed defenseman with gold?
So Junior Penn's texting me the other day, and he's already trying it.
He's got some silver guy that's
yeah. He's got He's got Salaming, and he has his 80 something Hut 23, and he said minimum of 85 slap shot power and accuracy with silver 1T. And he said that he was getting like tips to go in with it. But I feel like if Yossi gets a gold 1T, it might be like that Werenski last year,
which was like the best card.
And I still loved it, and Sleeves hated it.
I was playing a different. I'm simply playing a different game. That was an all-time bad experience.
So we have like the 5 that are like locked down. Here's another thing I was thinking about as we're heading into this. If some of these come out, right, and they don't have a good ability, like let's say like Yossi comes out and it's like a gold like thunderclap, or something.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or there's a forward, right?
Yeah.
I think it's don't waste your collectibles to make these cards because like we get to a point like in a month or two where there could be like a 95 Matthews and then there's going to be a random release of like a 94 Matthews with like a gold unstoppable force and like the random card's way cheaper. And it's a better card due to abilities.
Dude,
like I'm only making cards. I know. Yeah, he is only an 88 right now.
No. Matthews 88, like random Nations of Hockey USA card, had Thief on it, and it legitimately made. I don't remember if he had an ability that was useful, and he might not have. but like it legitimately made him a better. Because Thief is such a good synergy. It is easily bet. I mean, might be better than some of the +1 speed and acceleration synergies, but of all the non-skater ones, Thief is ridiculous, and it made him an actual usable like good center. But you're right, man. Like that Tage Thompson, dude. I still use that
Yeah.
Tage Thompson on
Me
my no money
too.
spent with Unstoppable Force, dude. Like that is why X Factors are brutal. Like, X Factors come out at the launch of the game, and again, marketing. Like that's a real reason why they are in the game, and and they can't give them stuff that doesn't make sense. Like shock and awe makes sense for Matthews. He has a gross toe drag. Like he's done it multiple times. It's something that he actively tries to do quite often. Makes sense. Pointless to have as a harder core player, even as like a non-hardcore player. Like it's just so like getting it off is nuts. But that's the issue with all these X Factors. If they're not going to be Team of the Year, like McKinnon, if he doesn't get Team of the Year, he has wheels, correct? No, he has
Still has
ankle
wheels
breaker,
on
but he
his
has
X
silver
Factor.
wheels.
Yeah.
But he's
His
so
gold ankle
fast that like,
breaker.
and he's big that like it's okay. I'm trying to think of another X Factor that would be
That
Barzal.
McKinnon would get. You mean?
Yeah, like no, but like an X Factor that you can upgrade the whole year and
Oh
be
yeah.
okay with it. Like Barzal's probably
I think
one.
Barzell, McCarr, are the only two with gold, and then Hedman stick them up.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
think with Hedman,
Hedman's-
it's not worth it this year because I
Yeah,
have him up to 87. I stopped. I think Crosby's one of them.
Crosby's
If
abilities
you want to
are
use
close.
a smaller, like I don't use him, but he has like what gold backhand, which is like 2 points.
And then he has
he
unstoppable force and lead edges.
Yeah, Andy, does he have big tipper at some point too?
No, dude, I hope they give it to him. Like he
think
needs to
his
have that
offline
next year.
one
By the
has
way,
it.
because like no, his Team Canada one does the Team of the Week one.
Yeah.
I remember I got that and it was awful. But yeah, like there's only a few X Factors. So after Team of the Year, oh by the way, guys, like if you have X Factors like Kane, maybe Kaprizov, maybe okay. If you have Adam Fox, trying to think of another one. I mean, even Pasternak probably, and they're tradable. Sell it now because the market crash on X Factors last year, right after Team of the Year, when they didn't get them, like it just fell off. And because, like I said at the beginning of the episode, like the player base is so much more knowledgeable this year. Like you're not going to see interest. There's no reason to upgrade an X. Like if Matthews doesn't get it, if he doesn't get Team of the Year, I said me and you did this last year. We just stopped.
Yeah.
Like Draisaitl's close because they actually made him a viable center.
I have a good debate. Me and Kess, I pulled Team of the Year, X Factor Ovechkin the other day.
So did
Is there any chance with a player lock? Is there any chance he has an outside shot at left wing because he broke the second all-time record? And he's
way back.
I get that. Trust me. But he scores like what do you have, like 40 something last year? He still had like 40 goals. I mean, he's still like scoring a ton. He's already at like he almost has 30 goals this year. You know what I mean? It's like he's absurd.
I think that if they do that, like this event has to have some sort of like what's the right word here? Like not backbone.
Credibility?
Yes. Yeah, like because if not, then it is literally just EA picking random to try and sell whatever. Because if Ovechkin got a Team of the Year, like he's another X Factor where
I don't know what to do with them.
Because his X Factor is not good. Like the abilities, right? Like there will be an Ovechkin that will come out that's like 92 overall.
The
that will have
truculence one.
I mean, that one that just came out is like 99 shooting. That is
nuts.
I have that. I haven't used it yet. I might get it for my GWC team. I think that's like the second best left winger in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And like that's a reason why X Factor is just like there's no point in them. But like I would sell them all like because if they don't win Team of the Year, like this is when it really starts to fall down.
NHL 20 was the last year that they had it was position lock for the forwards, but if you remember the D was Burns and Carlson. Yep. But they were both in game listed as right defensemen. Mm-hmm. So that was the last time they there really wasn't like an announcement kind of like we didn't have guys like Hawk around. We didn't have guys you could be like, so what was your thinking behind this? So I'm really curious to see like if they do waver from it, but that was the last time that it wasn't like technically position locked, but it was for everything else.
I just like I said, man, from the launch of the game, I really feel Austin Matthews winning those two things. Like if he didn't win the Hart and the Richard and like he just, had like the 8th most points, I don't think. I
What
think it
if
would be.
what if they snub McDavid completely? Oh
Yeah,
my!
if it's
Yeah,
position locked and he
like
doesn't.
that's yeah, if they snub McDavid, like this is why McDavid it can't like again, they cannot not have like because then the event is a joke. The Leafs fans will be happy, and like he's more marketable than Connor McDavid, right? But like there's no like there's arguments to have Matthews in the team of the year. There's no argument for not for him beating Connor McDavid. Like you know what I mean? Like Connor has to be in. So because it would be a joke, regardless of his card being good. It would just literally be a joke at that point,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to be that. Like the last thing I want to talk about the well, first of all, what was the format you would like? Position
Oh,
lock? Or
no,
position
no,
lock?
no position lock. It's a must.
I agree. I think it would be way better if it's just whatever because all the best players are centers or the majority. Like a lot of them are just centers. And
I'll say.
do you like the fact that the game revolves around this event?
No.
I can't stand it. As a creator, like I'm gonna probably do my best numbers ever on Friday. Okay, so like selfishly, awesome, gonna be fun. But like, I can't stand that the entire narrative from all events leading up to it is just like team of the year's coming. Like I don't. It's just boring. Like and I don't know what the fix would be because they'll never remove this event. I would assume this event pulls the most money of any NHL event, even more than team of the season because team of the season, I would say like half the player base is gone. January 1st is when the player base is at its highest. So, like, do you like? I don't know, man. I just don't like it anymore. But I don't know how to fix it. Like,
Yeah.
because
Bring back Movembers.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know why they ever got rid of him.
It was just a weird like.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Great cause, and there should be an event for it. But like, why was that the one that like?
That was
is,
the
like
Evo event, right?
It's weird. Like it made no sense. Like why was that
they
the
were
one where
Evos.
they?
I liked it for me because like I was like, oh, I can get like one of those and then I have it for the whole year.
Remember NHL 18 when like they had like 10 new Evos every week? Oh,
Yeah.
They would release them randomly. Like
Dude,
I
it was
remember one day,
awful, bro.
dude, Crosby and Ovi got one. I think like one random
Gensel
day.
and like they would just like
Yeah.
it made no sense. But all right, let's move on to the NHL 23 World Championships. That is what the GWC, the Game World Championship, has now become the NHL 23 World Championship. So we're gonna do our damnedest to call it that going forward. The first event is about to kick off for it. It's been pretty convoluted and a little confusing in terms of how the event's gonna run. But I think a big plus so far is that there's 30 club. There is 20 times more events, essentially. And a lot of ways to compete and qualify and all of that. But the first one that's about to happen, if you haven't registered by the time of this, I believe it's too late, but is the All-Star event. So it'll be like a Hut Champs. We don't know if it'll be 25 games. I would assume it's 25 like it was in the past. But the top 16 on every leaderboard for this event that starts on January 5th and runs to the 8th?
I think it goes to Sunday at midnight.
Yeah, I believe it's Thursday to Sunday or Wednesday to Sunday. And so if you are the top 16 in the leaderboard, win-based, at the end of that on your console, you'll enter into a bracket, and then we'll play all the way down until we get one champion on each console. And those 4 people will qualify for the GWC later on, and they will also fly to the All-Star game and compete at a little mini tournament, which is awesome. I'm super stoked that they are doing more of these. But let's talk about you guys are the competitors. I'm the voice. All right, I'm gonna cast the biggies. One of you is gonna get there. I got faith. I hope. So, are you guys ready? Do you feel prepared? And what's going on as from a competitive player standpoint? Padre?
I don't think. Padre, you have a more interesting route.
I want Kessa to go first because I got a long-winded thing.
Yeah, you do.
Yours is long.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's ready. I played Gren the other night. I told him I think we all suck at the game. I don't think like.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's weird, man.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ready at all. Like
the amount of randoms that are just good. Like it's crazy.
I haven't played anybody where I'm like, wow, this is like a really good player because like every game just revolves around like those random like poke checks that go back to your player or something. So the only thing I'm doing, I'm just trying to play some like scrims against like some of the people I've played in the past, like Miso Trippy, Aves and stuff. Like I'm just doing that. Like
Are
I think I'll be
you
ready.
fully committing for this event? So this event is win. Like there is no moral high ground, glitch traps, all of that from your scrims and how you've been playing and how you think you're gonna have to play against guys that are gonna be your competition or like near the top end. Is it all just behind the net?
No, I switched to Crash.
Okay, well, do you play behind the net?
A little bit once they start to cover that. So like my whole entire strategy, I've switched it a little bit. Like I'm trying to play off the rush a lot more, because I'm not as good as some of those people that like play
Yeah.
all day behind the net. So like I'm good at stopping it. I'm not good using it. So like I'm trying to mix in a little bit of that with crash the net. So like if I can contain them, and just like do like counter punches, score off the rush or something, or do something like that, score a glitch goal like that goal line shot or a rebound. Like I played Gren the other night pretty well doing that. I was on like 80 ping, but like he had the puck the whole game, but like I was able to get a few quick rushes and like do just fine. Like I think I can contain anybody.
Before I forget, I think I actually found a goal.
You did.
Like I legitimately think that like I have not seen anyone do it, and I scored. I got 15 wins and champs this week, which is by far my best on PS5. So not like old
It's
gen or anything
hard.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like it, which is it's been very difficult. But I had a couple like it is. If it is a glitch goal, it kind of sucks. That so full transparency. Eki has been do. I am so I get so like excited when I see creators doing stuff that A, I didn't think about, and B, they're just killing it in that. So I was scrolling TikTok. I love TikTok. We're getting off topic, but I mean Eki's gonna be in the world championship. So I just want to forget about this. So and he's gonna be on the podcast this week with Reg. So stay tuned for that as well. Um he has been posting these like deke tutorials about specific dekes on TikTok. So I'm scrolling and he's got the controller on so you can like see it. He's got like the mod thing where you can actually see how to do it. Great idea. Like is gonna absolutely explode on TikTok. So props to him because I wish I would have done it. But he had this one where he was showing like even the toe drag by moving the left stick, like the one you skate with, to the direction that you're dragging. It does this like actual sidestep thing. So that was one. But then I saw one where it was like you're on the backhand and you basically do a toe drag. So you go if you're left-handed and you've got your right stick to 3 o'clock and you drag it to 9. It does like remember last year we had this like one where you tap L2 and do it and you do this huge jump out in the middle. Okay, so that it keeps all of your speed when you do this deke, this stride deke. I'm gonna call it the stride deke. Do this stride deke. But if you right at the end of it, if you are just inside the blue line and you make this like stride deke into the middle and you fire low far side, dude, I was scoring from 5 feet inside the blue line regularly. And I'm doing this hot champs run. I'm like, boys, I think I found something here. And it sucks because like this is a bad one. This is not a good one. If so, kind of excited that I found my first goal because I'd have never had one. Polgs has one. The cookie wrap is like thing. It'd be kind of cool. Have my own, but it sucks.
Yeah.
It's gonna break the game. So there's that. But yes, sorry, back to World Championship. Like, and what is it about Crash the Net that you're like that it does more than other ones?
And you still hit the Pollux play with that?
I haven't tried to.
I can with Overload now.
You can with Overload now. So like I haven't tried to and I'm not that good at it, so I'm not gonna waste my time on something I'm not good at. I think they play a little bit better off the rush, and that was the main thing, that just to get some chaos around the net.
They do for sure.
Yeah, so
they
like
beeline
I
right to
needed
the
that.
net, right?
And another thing I found too is like sleeves. You mentioned it earlier, and I didn't want to like get into a tangent, but like you mentioned how Thrash controls his defenseman go like the whole way. So like a lot of the times I'm trying to enter the zone like with Crash the Net with my defenseman, because if you post up high, you just get 3 forwards like going right there. So I'm just like firing a saucer pass like and hoping for the best.
Something I'm trying to get better at is I see you do it almost all the time, and Thrash actually did it to me. So the sauce for the rebound, because I'm noticing now, I don't know if shot power is higher, but when you go low far side for a rebound, it almost always kicks out. And I don't know, maybe it's the goaltenders now have better rebound control. It always
doesn't
kicks
work.
out to the corner.
The rebound glitch doesn't work as well anymore, right?
No, but when you saucer it, like when you send a saucer at the goalie's pads, that gets you what you want, where it like kicks right out like 2-3 feet in front of the goalie.
And they also sometimes do that really dumb animation where they're like trying to hug the post. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah,
Yep.
like there's a lot of weird stuff.
So yeah, like that was that's something I'm trying to actively get better at. So I could see Crash Net being really impactful for that.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with it because I think everybody. Here's the thing: everybody's running behind the net.
Hmm.
And everybody I think is at least in like the top levels are learning how to defend it pretty well. So like if I can't run it as good as like Polgs or like whoever else, like there's no point for me to run it.
That's true. That makes sense, but that'd be different.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So we've got like a ton of club tournaments and things like that. Are you going to try out any of the club tournaments?
Yeah, I haven't signed up for any yet though. Like cuz I don't know when the deadline is. I was going to wait. I'm going
They
to
don't start till
avoid like the
February.
Okay, so I'm going to avoid like the yeah, I don't even think I can play in it. The big ones like with like the Tampa Bay ones like a huge
Hmm.
one. I'm just gonna sign up like randomly, maybe find some ones that maybe not a lot of people are playing in, like a lot of the people like I know. Just because like I don't, this is the worst I've ever been. Like I get 16 wins and champs, and that's like my ceiling right now. It's like awful.
For everyone that doesn't know, so every team has a club event, and if you win that club event, it happens on different weekends in starting in February all through March. If you win that, you automatically go to essentially the round of 64. That's in April. You're basically
Yeah.
you're basically competing to be like you're in a best of three to be that team's representative, and you don't have to worry about qualifying in the open play like the Hut Champs style NHL 23 World Championship thing. You don't have to worry about any of that. So the club champions are happening through again. You want to go to Battlefy, battlefy.com slash I think actually slash NHL 23. Will get you that tournament. If you go to Battlefy's website, you can see all the info there. Padre went back to old gen. So give us explain to the people why and
So
the difference is.
so like I'm a kitten pretty much. I'll use that word to describe it. I made fun of a lot of people for doing that last year, but I will say this: Geimer, Jose, Polgs, Josh Fearless, Duncan Demon, Own the Blue, even the guys that got banned, they're all good enough to win the whole thing. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I'm good enough to win the whole thing anymore. I still think I could. Like, give me a bunch of Andys, Randys, whatever you want to call them, all the way to the finals, and I play Kesso in the finals. You never know what could happen. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know, especially with this stupid game, right? And
Lebanese
Geimer,
man 69 stood on the
yeah,
draft stage in
well,
Montreal.
Geimer and Uninstall, I bet you they would both agree until they had to play at the LAN, they probably would tell you they played nobody up until they got to the LAN. And
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a joke, like how that they reward the old gen. I'm not disagreeing. I know it's a joke of a way to do it. Like I said, my whole mindset with it wasn't so much like I'm gonna win the GWC. Like it was more of like the way they have the club championship set up. I'm glad they have all 32 teams involved. That's great. Whatever. I'm not knocking this. I don't like the fact, and this is just me. I'm doing this for me and people like Kesso and other people that have kids. Like it's gonna be tough. And me and Kesso both talked about this because we're both dads. It's like I don't know how. And like back in the day, I could do it. Like my wife, I'd be like, or she's my fiance at the time, whatever. I could be like, hey, she's gonna go shopping for 4 hours on Saturday while I grind this tournament. There would be many tournaments that me and Kessel played in. I can't remember what year it was, NHL 18 or 19. We play every Saturday and Sunday. And you would literally play the entire day. And you could get to round number
Those were
9 out of
bad because
12.
those were like 11 hours long.
Yeah. And you
I
could
remember
get
the Caps one.
you could win on Saturday and then get to Sunday and you could get and rounded in round 9 of 12 and lose and get nothing. And so my thing is like, okay, so now I'm a dad. I have 2 kids. I only play pretty much at nighttime, like, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all asleep. But I can play when I want to play because Hut Champs, you can play whenever you want. So my thinking was, okay, my team's not that great, anyways. I don't spend money on the game. I don't grind like squad battles. I don't do anything. I just play like Hut Champs, just like Kesso, free to play. My team wasn't great anyway, so I was like, okay, I'll restart. And no offense to people on old gen, they're not very good. You can restart your team
Player
and just
base, yeah. The majority of the competitive player base is migrated to new gen.
correct, because 3 years ago when the new console came out, everyone's like, "Oh my god, I have to get the new console because
Yeah,
you're going to need
yeah.
it." Well, we didn't need it. We still don't need it, and it's embarrassing that it's that way, but it is what it is. Now I switched back over. I restarted my team, got my Christmas card, and I've done like pretty good. Like I don't even have that good of a team, and I'm dominating. I have like maybe 5 losses the entire time. Like the thing that bugs me though is like I said, like the way it's set up is you're gonna have to put in 5 hours on a Saturday at least, and it's gonna be a ladder. So that means for anybody out there, you're gonna hit a play a game button. Me and Sleaze both hit the play game button at the same time. We match up. We play each other. The top 32 from that get moved over to Sunday. I think I can easily make that. It's not about like making it. The problem is once I get to Sunday, it says it starts at like 2 o'clock and it could go until X time. I've done a million tournaments. I know exactly how they work. People don't get in the lobbies quick enough. People go to overtime. People dispute games. People's Xboxes don't work all of a sudden. People need to go do. I mean, there's a million reasons. I don't want to waste 7 to 8, 9 hours, and I'm not even kidding you when I say that. There was a Cavs gaming tournament years ago that started at 11 a.m. It wasn't done by 7 o'clock at night. I literally had to forfeit my game because I had to go to a Blues game back when I was the E-Bug, and I was playing Pens in like the semifinals. I had to forfeit my game because I couldn't finish my tournament. That was like 9 hours in.
Yeah.
I don't have time anymore, and this is just me. Like I said, this is my reasoning. I just don't have the time anymore to put in 5+ hours on Saturday, 7+ hours on Sunday. And then if you ask, okay, well, if you don't win the club championship, you still have the open play. Yeah, you're right, I do. No, the problem is the open play, and you guys know this last year, there is so much cheating, win trading, manipulating, discords, you name it. So much cheating to manipulate the in-game, it's, for lack of better terms, like a Hut Champ leaderboard. There's going to be 14 spots per console on new gen. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to skip the club championship. I'm going to go old gen, and I'm going to compete for the 60 spots that are on old gen. I mean, it's a joke to say, but I mean, for my life, it makes more sense to me because I still want to play the game. I'm still pretty good, and I still think like, I still want to be able to compete and partake in the event. I feel like for my life, that's the easiest thing for me. Like I said, you could say it's a cop out. You can say, like I said, if I make it all the way to the thing, I will call myself the biggest you know what in the world if I make it somehow to one of the lands, and I will make fun of myself.
I'll do it on the broadcast.
Yeah, like I'll make fun of myself the whole time. But like I said, I did it more so for my livelihood. I think it'll be easier for my life.
Yeah, like so. For anyone that isn't fully understand, so essentially with the club championship, you lock up a spot for that team on new gen, right? So there'll be 32 of them already gone. That means there's only roughly about like 28 to 30 open play spots, and open 28. Play is like Hut Champs. Yeah, so it's like 28. Hut Champs. Yeah. Whereas on old gen, because you can't win there's no club championship on old gen. You have basically there's 60 open spots to make like the bracket and then the play in.
And if they don't have the leaderboard migrated by then, which I doubt they will, I talked to the guy that's in charge of it. He said it'll be 14 spots on each console. That's like nothing.
That's tough, man. So,
and you know that 5 West Coast guys will take 5 spots. You know that a bunch of Frenchies will take 3 spots. You know that it'll be so much cheating. I'm telling you right now, it's a mess.
I am going to state this now that if I find out, man, I don't snitch. I don't say anything about anything. Like I stay out of my own business. But if I catch people trying to like cheat and win trade, and there's like legitimate proof, and it's very easy to tell. All you have to do is get EA to actually look at for anyone that doesn't know, guys, when you play a game, your IP literally pings into the API of the game, and EA just doesn't release that. In 6s, EA releases that, and that's how you have League Gaming. All right, but it happens in 1v1. So when you are constantly matching up against the same person, it is very, very easy to go EA going 9:30. Padre match up against Kesso Paguni at this IP, DNF finish. 40 seconds later, same IP match up again. Like it's very easy, guys. Well, like I will do my damnedest to catch anyone trying to do that. I'm going to make sure, and I will be the police officer for this event because, well, Padre did go to old gen, and I mean, like it definitely does make sense when trying to actually win the tournament. Going to old gen is definitely the weaker competition, and I don't like not what you did, but or what you're doing. It sucks that there's a part of the tournament where it's like not trying to be the most competitive, because I want to see I'm the voice of the event, hopefully, knock on wood, and I want to see it. The reason why I like the event is because it's always best on best, and somehow, some way, it has been the same 2 people the last 3 years in a row, which is like just unfathomable considering how bad and random this game can be at times. But getting there, man, like I want this event to be the most competitive it can possibly be, because when the biggies are playing, like, man, like Josh would play grind and stuff, like it was just fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is. And when I still
think their series like 3 or 4 years ago was the best one ever in like GWC. Yeah.
I remember sitting in Sportsnet studio watching that. Like when this game is played, and everyone can be like, "Oh, they're just trying for glitch goals and stuff." But when you understand that they know exactly what to do, and the other person knows exactly what to do, and it's just NHL is not like MLB where it's breaks in between pitches, breaks in between like clutch moments and all of that, like playing the video game. Even Madden is mostly knowledge based. NHL is constant motion. Like you cannot have a mistake. So when you get two dudes with 50 grand on the line, like it's just fun. Like that I find entertaining. And we all play the game an exceptional amount. We're all addicted to it.
It's random.
So I want to see the game. This year is going to have a lot of bad goals.
Yeah.
Like a lot of bad stuff, and I can't wait to try and cast through that because I always try and like.
It's going to be difficult for you because like I don't know if this rumor I heard was true. A few years back, like high ups at I don't know if it was or at the NHL, I don't know if it was Bettman or something, like unhappiness with the product that was shown during the GWC, right?
I know it was the first year when they were Pittsburgh.
Okay,
like,
maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
but like
I
can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine the reaction whenever it's like the general public's like watching this and some of these things happen. That like maybe it's that one glitch that happened to you, Sleeves, where your guy's like in the T pose or something, just going around the ice and you can't do anything. That's likely to happen. Like there's a lot of things that are likely to happen during this because they happen every 5 to 10 games, right? Mm-hmm. So like you and Grizz have a tough job because you're just gonna like
you just gotta laugh through it. Like
you have to laugh through it or act like it's not happening.
Exactly. There's nothing you can do. Like so, like I this year is definitely gonna have some bad stuff. But like I said, man, I just want the tournament to be the most competitive possible. And EA still making sports games need like. I understand that people can't afford new consoles and stuff. It is hurting the gaming. This is a whole other topic. It's hurting the gaming industry, by the way, like very badly. That developers simply cannot afford to not dumb down their games for the old gen still 3 years after launch, simply because they can't not have the sales of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to have the sales, especially sports games, because they rely on the game sales so much, especially NHL. So. The fact that it's still on all 4 systems like that kind of, holds the NHL kind of hostage when it comes to the tournament, because you can't as an organization, you can't be like, hey, you can't afford the new console, too bad. Like that's not inclusivity at all, right? And like I understand that from a business perspective and just like getting people to play, you need to have the access for everyone, but it's tough in that sense.
It needs to be Oh, my bad. Sorry. I was just going to say it needs to be the most competitive tournament there is, period. There needs to be like no like cakewalks like going to old gen. There needs to be like no cheating in the game.
There's an interesting way that you could do it, because I don't know how many streams there'll be, things like that. But when you got down to the final 16, if you have the game on new gen, you can play the old gen game. Right. So like you could literally just play the old gen and have EA send the 20 cards out at the draft, like the
or
draft
you just
stage.
Make it versus all the way until the draft stage.
Yeah, if it's not shown on stream, then again, you can't market the event and show it on stream using Tampa and Tampa. Like it's
I agree,
an awful
100%.
Look
and Chris Dollier told me that at the All-Star game. He said Tampa versus Tampa, Pitt versus Pitt, and I 100% agree. The problem is no one streams. Like I talked about the joke a few weeks ago where people put a picture of their faces. They do that,
up. Yeah. I'm talking about the actual NHL.
No, and I agree, and like that's what I'm saying. Like the hut draft part, 100%. It's I enjoy the hut draft part because there's actually some there's some like creativity to it.
You get junior pens in there and it's a mess.
Yeah, it just there's some like but like that's what I'm saying. It's just there's so many flaws with it, with like the old gen, the cheating, and like to use an example of the cheating, like last year, like Aves made it almost to the LAN, and he wasn't even going to be in the tournament because 2 cheaters got disqualified because they were playing on other people's accounts, and it bumped him back into the bracket. That's what I mean.
I love Aves.
When people don't understand the cheating, though, like that's the stuff I'm talking about. Like that's the difference. Like 1 week I got bumped out of the top 32 because, and I'm just gonna say that I don't even care. Andy the Princess, love the guy. He's hilarious. But he win traded with 2 minutes left in the event and got 2 wins in the last right before the ticker ended. But the thing is, there's a disconnect between EA and the NHL, and then that in between. And there's nothing that like
going to do my damnedest to
bring that together. Listen, I will help you because I hate that stuff. Like it bugs me. And some of the people
you are a competitive player. Yeah. Understand this now. I will not seek it out. If I hear that there is win trading happening and you send me the info, I will have the appropriate people take a look at it. I'm not saying you're going to get people banned. I'm not going to do that. And again, I'm not going to go out the way and comb through all of the recents and like that. No, I have like a life. I mean, well, sort of. But like, I'm not doing that. And like I said, I'm not a snitch. But if I find out and stuff like that, I will go and make sure that that is checked into because like that stuff can't happen, especially with all that's on the line. Like the tournament is only expanding, and we just don't want. I don't want that look. Like I want the tournament to be this though.
If you have to do that, you're not good enough to win.
Yeah,
anyway.
you're not.
Like, why do you do it? I don't get it. That's something that makes no sense to me. All the manipulating and cheating. It's like and even the Discord. Like, listen, I was in Discord with the top players. I get the whole thing. Kessel, we were probably in the. I don't even remember. Like,
yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all because like
I get it, but it's
I don't have a problem with that at all. One thing I wanted to add whenever you're talking about going back to the old gen, I think there's a couple people that like earned that right. Like I know Eki does that every year, right? He doesn't receive any criticism. I think he's proven that he's the best like EU player. That's a fact. I think it'd be fine. I don't know if Regs is doing it this year. I know somebody
doing it.
He earned that right.
Duncan
like, I think he did. Like I don't know, and this is just me. Like I'm prideful. I have an ego, but like I also like want to earn things the right way. I would
say what you will about John Wayne, but like this is like he would, you know what I mean? Like John, like the competitive part, like the competitive.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna make it, like last year I had to make it through. Like if I would have made it, I would have had to make it through Saphir and Regs.
Yeah.
If I switch with Geimer 1-1 our brackets last year, I likely lose to Gren and at the land. It's like all likelihood, and that's nothing against Geimer. You could say the same thing for like uninstall, but like once they make it that far, all of a sudden like they're in like that same tier as those guys. And I just think you have to earn something at some point.
I agree. I actually that makes I do agree with that. The one thing good change that's kind of underrated that's kind of like I don't think being talked about enough. There is only 4 people going. I think a big issue and a big problem with the NHL 23's World Championship or last year's GWC was that they were bringing 8 and everyone was upset that the best 8 weren't there necessarily, like who you would consider, because people got easy runs, they went to old gen, all that kind of stuff. There's none of that. They are only bringing 4. So even if you go to old gen, if you make it out of that, there is enough players on old gen now.
Yeah, now there
at
is.
At the top end, that if you make the top 4, that's phenomenal. And I think that's a great change because, again, that means it's the most competitive. Like, adding in more people is cool. Like, giving more people the experience, 100%. But there's a lot of happy to be there, right? Like, there was a lot of happy to be there last year, and then you had Regs and Gren. And, like, all eyes were just, everyone was just, like, waiting for those 2 to win. And that's what ends up happening, right? Like, you know, and I think that this year, with only 4 people making it, I don't think it matters if you went to old gen and new gen. You know, you will have an easier time getting to the final 8 or final 4 for the old gen, but then actually winning it is going to be
not if you're on Xbox because Regs is there, right? So there's no chance if you're
if you're on Xbox, I apologize. You are going to go through my boy Justin regularly, and he is confirmed alien, so you will lose. All right, so this episode's running a little bit long, but we'll take it quickly.
Yeah, I'm good. If you guys
want to, okay, so we talk about gameplay pretty much every episode. I was coming up with ideas for the episode, and I want you each. We'll start with Padre first. Give me the only one, okay, gameplay change that you think is if like only one thing could be changed about NHL 24 in terms of gameplay, what would it be?
Goalies, period.
Okay.
I already said to you guys the other day, they need to strip down the goalies completely from the bare minimum again. Freaking fly me out to Vancouver. I'll do you mocap. I'll do mocap for you guys. Like I don't even care.
Imagine that. Like that'd be so cool if you.
I mean, like
who they use like Eddie Lack.
Yeah, well, yeah, then they use some like college kid like years later. But like, I mean, I've done goalie camps my entire life. I could easily. It's not that hard. It's just goalie movements. It's just. But
do you think it's the animations, like the actual like motion capture, or do you think it's the like? So they added in ESHL animations. Do you think if they just went back to 22 or like the prior 8 years?
Yeah, if they just went back to last year's goalies, we'd be fine right now. I think we would. I mean, fine, take away the back doors, whatever. Okay, like, but I think like. We wouldn't be as mad playing the game because, like I told you guys earlier, like there's no point even having a goalie sometimes. That's why I think like the best players in the world, like Regs and Gren, they're gonna get screwed in GWC at some point this year because their goalie's gonna be turned sideways. My goalie was laying down the other day in a spread eagle on his stomach when the puck was behind the net. I don't know why he was, but he was, and that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like I did the joke a few weeks ago when I got my goalie stick and my gloves out and I did the paddle down.
Oh yeah, the live demonstration.
Just the awareness of the puck being around the net, maybe, and then putting it like just I don't know what to say. It's
it is clear the AI
goalie is trying to decide between a human animation and a goalie
Yes.
animation, and it was not fully finished. My issue with NHL 23 is that even just with the goalies, they had an idea and they worked on it, didn't finish it, shipped it. If they just would have been like, goalies is not going to work because we haven't figured it out fully. Let's hold that back. We'll release it next year. Okay. Like, I legitimately think the game would be in such a better spot. Like, because everyone's like, oh, the back doors are gone. The fact that you can't score a one-timer that isn't in the crease is actually wild. Like, I get that it's been the same goal for, like, the last 20 years, but good Lord. Like, I'll take one-timers in good spots, and then I'll just be like, I'll just laugh to myself. I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. Like it was a bad play to do. Like, I agree with you. Like, goalies being fixed is probably my fix too. Okay, Kessler, you can't take goalies. What would you fix?
Yeah, the physics engine completely, and what I mean by that is the stick physics,
They're
whatever
gone. It's like they're gone.
Yeah,
Like what they
so
did last year is just gone.
something's broken in the game. Like so the stick physics are broken, but also like the hitting, like the collision detections are like really wonky. There's certain areas on the ice. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, where you're skating with a forward, maybe down the boards or down the middle, and he like hits an invisible wall, and he looks like he's skating, but he's not, and then he slows down, and then you like lose the puck. So like I'm guessing I would have to go the physics engine because I think that's applicable like everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like the lack of I've never gotten an answer on this, even from the Game Changer chats. There's full transparency here. Like last year, the stick in physics, I remember when it got added in, I was super excited for it because I was certain that this would be one of the biggest changes that EA could make for the game. So anyone that doesn't know, the stick in physics was the player model and the stick was all one. So you'd get those times where you'd get close to the goalie and your stick would go through a pad or go through the boards, or you would lose the puck because your stick went through the boards. And what people did not know is that to make up for the lack of realism, they made it where you couldn't pick up the puck for like a half a second because it was still in a penalty for it being through the boards, right? For not being in position. And that caused a lot of issues like, why did I lose the puck here? And people don't understand because it wasn't ever explained. And then this year, it's like, it's sort of there, but the amount of clips I have where the puck goes through a stick that I'm intercepting.
How about my goalie's pad the other night?
I hadn't
Padre
seen
had
that
one where
one.
the pad went, he shot it, and that happens in World of Chel. That is the issue. Like, they are trying to make the gameplay uniform, and I can appreciate that. But you cannot launch it if it is not working. We are beta testing the next year's game for the gameplay. Take
It's
away
a
the
full
content
price game, and it's a fine game.
It's a full price
so
game.
here's my thing though, Sleeves. You mentioned before, like what would be the biggest thing that changed like gameplay, and that's like the addition of strategies, right? I think a lot of us would have been fine if we had like an adjustment of 22 gameplay with added strategies, and in the background, like Pete and them are working on like huge overall adjustments that aren't into like 25, right? Because like right now we're just getting betas
that is
finished.
literally what we are in terms of gameplay. I've told Ben, when Ben is, for anyone that doesn't know, Ben Ross was the gameplay developer, the main gameplay developer for the last like 8 years. He's moved on to FIFA, and I'm actually pretty sad about it because he, if we agree or disagree with him, at least he was very passionate. They're all passionate, but he just was obsessed with it. Maybe that's not the right word, but like he was obsessed with it. He had an idea and he did everything he could to make his idea work. And I think that like there's a respect for that.
I really liked how he treated every single customer. He would have like a conversation with them.
He was like
it was nuts.
Yeah. He was like a small business owner running Coke.
Yeah, it really was.
And
I didn't even deserve, like back in the day before I was in the program, like I'd complain about the game. He shouldn't have given me the time of day, and he did. So like he was amazing.
Yeah, it was nuts, and he's moved on to FIFA. So, but a lot of his ideas, like last year's stick and physics was the big thing. It's just like gone, but like I think in a couple of years this is a good thing for the game because I think it's so dumb that gameplay was separate. World of Chel existed and Hut exist or 1v1 existed, and the reason why that's so dumb is you're splitting your devs. A small dev team is now completely separate, and you've got to have dev team working on gameplay for World of Chel and one working for 1v1. When everything is on the same page, you can have the entire dev pool that does gameplay stuff all in one, and I think that's really good. But it was not finished. It was not ready. It was, you can see it every day that you play 5 games. There is something that not just the classic like I was in position and my guy didn't make a thing. Like this is broken stuff.
Well, and it's not even like that stuff too, but like the AI, like the defense that doesn't read like a 2-on-2 and they're like stuck at the blue line. How did that get broken like year over year?
I don't know. I'm sorry, what I was going to try and say before
my
all this
bad.
was no. I'm all over the place. I think that if they add in 3 to 6 strategies, so let's say they double it. So I'm talking behind the net, crash net, and overload. If they added in 3 new strategies, like completely different ones, that would change the way that this game is played more than any other physics, anything they could do. Skating engine, it does not matter. Because if you changed and added 3 new strategies, just 3, not even custom play, like you could have multiple different ways to play the game. Someone's using behind the net, and but maybe you're not effective at it. Maybe there's some crazy ones that for shooting, like someone who likes going for point shots, like have a strategy that allows like the wingers to like reverse back and forth a ton to set stuff up. Like it would make the game so fresh, and it's nuts that it is not some. It's because it's not in the back of the box feature. That's literally what it is. And
I would love a
22.
strategy. Just park 3 people in front of the net. That's it.
yeah.
If you had 22 with that idea, I think you'd have a pretty good game. I'm not saying it's the greatest game in the world. I know you didn't like 22 yourself.
I hated 22.
But I just think that it was a fine, like there was nothing that was
fine game.
like the biggest thing that like we all bitched about with Ben was always like the puck pickups, interceptions. It's all we ever complained about last year was
We were trying to make it sim based.
Yeah, like why can't my guy pick this up? Why can't but if you had more strategies and stuff like that with that game, like I said, I like the goalies last year. I don't know. I hate the goalies this year so much, and I'm a goalie, so I'm just like that. I really look into that stuff, so it really bugs me. It really grinds my gears.
The goalies in 22 there was no glitch goals. So the reason why I didn't like 22, not because I didn't have glitch goals to do, but there's only 3 strategies, and you only really use behind the net because overload wasn't viable because tips weren't really a thing.
Like what if
last year.
Tipper was good last year? You know what I mean?
That's yes, because like a big say like what tip shots allow you to do is people that sit collapsing protect net, and you have the entire point open. Like even if D2D one-timers don't go in because they only did on the specific side in 22. But the fact that you could just go for tip shots because there's 50 guys in front, and that's what you would do in the real thing. Like Brent Burns would fire a wrister.
Imagine if you had Big Tipper this year and you could still mix in an Ovechkin 1T on the other side. That would be nice. Yeah. It'd be a nice balance. It'd be nice to have a tic-tac-toe passing play.
There was no
throw it over.
There was no way to create time and space though in 22. That was my biggest gripe with it. Like it was very pochecks and bumping was so prevalent, and there was no like dekes that allowed you to hold on to the puck kind of thing. Whereas now you get like where you get that stuck in like a stride or whatever, and like some guy goes to bump you, and like it's like he's like covered in butter, like you know what I mean, like where it's dumb in in terms of realism, but like at least it's for a video game, it like kind of makes it fun because you can create time and space. But I don't know, it's gonna be tough in terms of something that gameplay wise that I would like to see fixed. Oh, those are like D2D one-timers got to go in. Every now and then. It's
0 out of 1,000.
I think that we've gone away from we basically scored the same way or a variation of the same way for 15 years. But when you look at like what they were trying to do when you were cycling the puck in the real thing, that is what they were trying to do. Like in a perfect world, if a team could get a wide open one-timer every time that they get in the offensive zone, that is what they would do. Right, and it's frustrating because you can't always defend it well, and some people that's all they go for. And sure, but like one-timers go in, it's very weird. Like I just wish some of the real normal shots would go in. But the last thing we want to talk about is just some questions. Did you have one? Was there one there? I was gonna say, guys,
there were a couple questions, but I think it more in general moving forward, just because there was just a couple like small ones. So I think next episode,
let's do if
people have any questions, just leave them in the comments in the YouTube channel.
Yep.
We'll pick a few, like because we used to do that. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. I agree.
Doesn't have to be about NHL 23.
No,
it can be about anything.
Top 5, dude. The top 5 lists in the summertime are my favorite episodes.
I think those are my favorite episodes we've done because it was just like
I can't wait till we get into the dog days of summer and we gotta find out what Padres' top 5 favorite TV shows are. I bet they're all over the place. I can't wait.
We have that's the summertime. I think is gonna be fun because that's when I'm gonna be able to get some real banger.
We will be able to get some big guests on in the summertime too.
That was another thing too. Before we get to the questions, like we're kind of, I think we've all kind of talked about, like we're gonna focus, I think, more on like the video game stuff from here on out. But we're gonna mix in some guests here and there. I think like the real hockey stuff's like good, and I think ultimately, like eventually, like that might be like a thing we go down, more deep, I guess. But with the time that we all have, I think we all agreed that the video game thing, people.
We're just
Dude,
addicted.
is-
You guys are all addicted to Hut.
It's
That's
it's
it.
hard,
That's what it comes
Padre.
down to,
I'm
man.
sure you feel the same way. It's like we have like you have 2 kids. I have a
Could
kid.
you
like,
imagine
they're
if
both
I had
young.
a kid? Like, how would we?
When would
Dude, if I had a kid, when would we?
Hey, but
record
this is the thing. Like you guys have, and I'm smaller than both of you guys, and obviously and Sleeves is huge, obviously. But it's like, and I know you guys probably get the same
Fat
question. Like,
shaming me.
when is the next coffee and Chel? When is the next like? And it's kind of like, hey, whenever we get
We
together.
are forcing it. Yeah, we are forcing it. We are
The
going to.
holidays were tough. We were
Yeah.
all sick. We had families. And that's understandable. But we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna be more consistent. We don't know if like we'll have a day per se. We're gonna try to.
No, we are going to record on Sundays. We are going to record on Sundays, and if one of us can't make it, we're just going to power through. So so Tuesdays is when we are going to release the episodes because I think that it's only fair to have it come out at the same time. It needs to come out at the same time. So
For
we
sure.
apologize
Yeah.
for the.
But basically, what I was gonna get to is like we're gonna try to keep it more like the video game, focused. But we're gonna and we'll talk real hockey here and there. But I'm still gonna get the guest on. Like I think because it doesn't have to be always video game. I think.
Well, yeah, because I think our
The guests
original
are
thing
fun.
was like bridging the gap between like
Yeah.
the game and like the real sport.
Dude, I had a
Yeah.
dude. I had a dude on Twitter tell me that I said I apologize for all the awesome Matthews fans, but there's simply no way McDavid is not going to be it, even if his position locked. Dude said, McDavid did shit all in the playoffs. Like the amount of kids that play this game 40 hours a week and
don't
just
watch it.
do never tune into hocky kills
don't get
me.
it.
He
I don't get
led the playoffs and he only played 3 rounds. I was just like,
No, but it's that's
we're
the kind of
trying
stuff
to
that-
educate. We're
trying to bridge the gap, but like I said, I think it'll be good because we had Jeff Merrick on, and I can get more guys like that. We made a list of guys I could splotch in here and there, and I think when it's more of just a random guess of that, I think people will enjoy it more. So I mean, I'm still gonna try to get some guests like here and there, and like this upcoming episode, we have
eggs, Regs, and Eki.
we have Eki and Regs. Like we're gonna do more of those kind of things too. So I think that'll be good. But like I mean, if you guys down in the comments like that idea, I'm sure you will because the views and the comments seem to be bigger on
you
the
guys
video game.
eat up the Hut podcast.
We will keep obviously doing it, but if like you guys like that idea, just like let us know. But yeah, Kesso, go ahead and start with some of the questions that I guess you'd like. I
was just mentioning next week we should start.
Yeah,
with
let's start it next week. Let's do it next week.
Okay, yeah.
We're at an hour and a half. This is our longest episode ever, maybe.
Yeah, people
Ever.
they don't care. People love it.
Yeah, we're going to bed. I'm going to bed. I finished my Hut champs, dude. Apparently you play Rivals at 3 a.m.
Dude,
That's your thing. Now.
I got to get ready for NHL 23 WC.
Oh my god! All right, well, guys, we will have a recap of the World Championship every single weekend. As now we're getting into it, thank you guys for listening. Episode 61 will be out next week. Thank you for watching. Peace out.